Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon Total, and today we're back with the top 5 best planes in the early game. Last time I did my top 5 best planes in Enlisted, and today we're going to be doing the top 5 best early game planes. In this video, we're going to be covering mostly planes from Tier 1 to Tier 2, essentially the early game, and what planes I think are really good, and of which some of these planes are even good at the late game, which is insane if you ask me. That said, this video has been made possible for the friends at Discord. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, highly suggest that you do. But that said, let's finally get started. In the number 5 spot, we have the Hurricane Mark IIB Tropical. It has two 250-pound bombs and has a good speed. The issue is that the guns are not really good, although it has 6 of them. The guns are 7.7 and they hit like, well, not the best, and overall it will take time to down Stuka or any other plane. On the other hand, the maneuverability is good when you're making turns, but if you're trying to bomb, which is the main selling point of this plane, it's not the best, especially when it cannot go in a straight line. Also, the most interesting thing I found is that the flaps will break much more easily than any of the other planes on this list. But that said, this is the Hurricane Mark II Tropical. It's really interesting and has two 250-pound bombs, but in terms of everything else, it's decent at best. I will not fly this plane, but this will be on this list. Next up, we have the P-38G. This has one 20mm cannon and four 12.7 Brownings, 6 rockets, of which these rockets are mounted right below the engine, meaning that this thing can essentially blow things away. And when I mean things, I mean tanks and infantry. The plane also has a really good flight dynamics with maneuverability and also speed, in the sense that it can outturn and in some cases outfly other planes. The only issue in that is not as quick as some of the other planes in terms of this list, and definitely not as maneuverable as some of the other planes on this list, as you will soon see. But the 6 rockets, which are insane, especially when this thing first came out, is really good. Also the 20mm cannon and 4 12.7s are really gonna shoot every plane to shreds. That said, let's move on to the 3rd spot, which is the IAR-81C. This is one of my favorite planes, and still will be one of my favorite planes because of the two 50kg bombs and one 250kg bomb. The two 20mm cannons and two 7.92 cannons are great. It has great turn speed and is overall a joy to fly. Of course, it has some problems over there and over here, mainly the fact that if you get hit, you're pretty much going down, like that's pretty obvious. And the fact that although it's really good turn, it does get outclassed by some of the other planes on this list. But in terms of the best turn, it's really good on this list so far. The other thing is that you can use this at late tier and essentially go up against P-47s, and you can outturn that thing and still bomb planes because this still has a 250kg bomb, and as I find, 250kg bombs are really good against most tanks. With that said, let's move on to the 2nd spot, and that is the A6M2 Zero. This Zero has two 60kg bombs, which are good for medium and soft targets, two 20mm cannons, and two 7.7 machine guns, which are really good for shredding planes. The only caveat is that this thing runs out of ammo really quickly, so you need to know where you're shooting. So that's that. But the main selling point is that this thing is really good at 2 things. One is the flight dynamics, which is decent because this plane is really fast for what it offers, but the main thing that makes this thing insane, and I mean insane, is the turn rate. It has 11 seconds, well almost 12 seconds of turn time, which is insane, and that is really good. This thing can outturn objects, this thing can outturn anything on this list, including the next plane, which I'm going to be talking about really soon, because this thing can just turn like a dime. Literally, if you see a plane behind you, just turn around and, well, shred the plane that was following you. It's really good. The only caveat is that, well, if you fight another plane and you get hit, you're pretty much going down because this is a Zero. I also find that this plane gets and starts fires really quickly, which is also a downside. So that's that. Overall, a joy to fly, really good dynamics and really good turn, and the two 60kg bombs are really good against light and medium tanks, which is exactly what you will be facing as the Japanese. In terms of the number 1 spot, we have the P-40E-1. Notice this P-40E-1 is not from the USA tech tree, but the USSR tech tree. I know, it's insane. This has a single 250 kilogram bomb and 2, I kid you not, 100 kilogram bomb. And of course, this thing is really good. It has great turn, but it's definitely bulkier than the Zero in the sense that its turn is not as good, but its flight dynamics are arguably better in the sense that it has better speed. But here's the caveat: the armament is insane with 6 12.7 Browning machine guns. This thing not only has the bombs, also has the machine guns, and is found in the USS Tech Tree at Tier 2, which is essentially for free. And also, the other good thing about this is that its speed is really good. At least on this list, it's really fast. That said, this is all it for this list. Literally, I have nothing else compared to the P-47E-1 for this USSR tech tree, mind you, because the USA tech tree is P-47, which is ironic if you ask me, only has 2 100-pound bombs, and yeah, pretty much everything is worse in some areas and better in some. But once again, this P-40 essentially has a single 250 kilogram bomb, 2 100-pound bombs, and 6 12.7s, which is insane. But that is all it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.